Welcome to the most heretical stream on the internet. I give you Wooly1169.
Hello everyone, welcome to the stream and welcome back for Captain of Industry. Last time we started working in earnest, I guess, on our Breeder Reactor design, and it's a bit complicated, so we did not quite get the design puzzled out yet, let alone figured out yet. But I think I've made the right progress off camera without making too much progress, and that meaning building it and trying to piece it all together before being on stream, so we can jump in and take a look and see if I am on the right track or I am not on the right track. I need to adjust my mic here. Since I'm wearing a light colored shirt, the usual, it seems like frequently worn black shirts don't hide the bottom or the top of the mic there on the bottom of the camera view. So I have to actually move it down a bit more. All right, so let's switch into the game and take a look around, I think. What have I done besides terraforming since Tuesday? I don't think anything else. I've made them spread some dirt in here because they're pulling all the dirt out of here, so they might as well spread it back in here. They're not doing it directly, unfortunately, because it's too mixed, but they're doing it. The second ziggurat is just about ready to start the second level, so we have a lot of dirt saved up, which is fine. We'll get we'll save up as much as we can. I started digging away at the copper here because we have we had a shortage a little bit of copper ore. Well, we had a shortage of mined copper ore, I guess. And the same thing went for sand. I have added an excavator, one of them here to dedicate itself toward working on the quartz here, while the other one down here continues digging into the, not quite bottom of, but deep into the quartz so that we can get at it from below. As well as from above, or probably just switch all to below. And then I kind of did the same, or I'm working on the same thing kind of over here with the last of this sand. But I did do some preparatory work to get myself over here to be able to mine the quartz out of here as well. Now, in order to get this out of here, we're going to have to also get the copper out of here, which I'm not really set up to do, but we should be able to make tweaks here to this station to allow me to dump some copper out here, but we'll have to do that before we start on that quartz in too much earnest. So other than that, I forgot about these here. So my numbers, my tally of how much freaking depleted uranium I have was a little bit under. Plus, in the time that has passed, I've added 2 new buckets here and a new box of for reprocessed uranium, although this one is empty, but added more storage for those things, of course, and if we don't hurry, we're going to end up with another storage of spent mox before too long, but we'll figure that part out. So what I did was I did a spreadsheet because, well, that's what I do is spreadsheets. Let's see, do I have this one? There we are. Yes, I did a spreadsheet. So this table here represents all of the recipes relating to core fuel and blanket fuel. Raven, welcome in. How you doing tonight? Excluding the other ingredients related to these recipes. So, like, for example, this one is core fuel from enriched uranium. I only put the core fuel in here. The uranium is not in here, but because I'm trying to solve the puzzle of balancing core fuel and blanket fuel. So I was working at this. Caladorn was talking about you getting a name in the game. Yes, he did redeem that last week, or last stream. Wanted you to be named one of the Breeder Reactors. But, well, they're not built yet, so it's in the buffer. Unless you would like to be named, to have something else named after you. Another building, a vehicle, including trains, yeah, I think that's it. There might have been something else that you could be named, that could be named after you, but mostly buildings and trains. You just got done watching the VOD? Nice. So, working on this, has not been kind of very simple. Trying to piece this together, ignoring all the other ingredients and things. One of the big trucks. Okay. What would you like to be mining, or hauling for the mines? And we'll take care of that. In the meantime, I want to continue looking at this. So we have a few different choices for the breeder reactor config. In all 3 or all 4 choices so far, I assumed 3 reactors, which might not be the best, but long term it is. So that's why I'm assuming that. In the short term, though, the breeder reactor, 3 of them, will spend 48 core fuel to give us 48 spent core fuel, and will spend 48 blanket fuel to give us 48 enriched blanket fuel. Then we can reprocess that core fuel. 3 of them will take 48 spent and give us back 36 core, and it doesn't cost or give us any blanket fuel of either type. And then we can get more core fuel, and we need to make up for 12 here, which you might not be able to see that very easily here. Yeah, I need to adjust my screen a bit, I think. Yeah, I need to adjust my screen. Let's shrink it down just a bit then, so I can put that like that. That might be better. The most important one. Ooh, that's a good choice. That's a good question. So we need to make up for 12, so I put in 6 of these, which gives us 12, and a nerd shirt alert. Speak of the devil. Today's nerd shirt is Caladorn. Not really, it's Sheldon, but it looks like Caladorn. It says, live long and prosper. He's doing the Vulcan salute. It was during the episode where he was Spock for one of their cosplays or Halloween or something. I don't remember now the details. So making up for that means that we consume all of the enriched blanket fuel we made, and we get 36 back. And then I'm assuming a little bit here, but I think we need to then restore the rest of that blanket fuel. So I made 6 of these, making 12 blanket fuel from spent fuel, spent mox. And so that means that we have a 0 balance, which is what we want to have. We can have a surplus of blanket fuel, but we cannot have a surplus or a deficit of anything else as far as I'm aware. And so then I was thinking about this further. So I took the first 2 steps here, and actually the third one's down here at the bottom. This is confusing? Yeah, it is. I've puzzled over this for 2 days. That we can make blanket fuel from enriched blanket fuel and depleted uranium here. So I'm making a bunch of that, which is costing me the enriched blanket fuel. And then the rest of the enriched blanket fuel here, most of the rest of it, can go into making... Your head was hurting on the last VOD? Yeah. Can go into making core fuel here, which is going to also make blanket fuel we need. This makes this a 0 balance. And then the last of it is made from core fuel from enriched uranium, which we only need to run 1 of those, and that gives us the other 4 we need to make this a 0 balance. So we have a surplus here of 4 enriched, which is fine. No, it's not me, Caladorn. It's this build, which is fine because that can go into making one of these 2, or it can just go into the void. It doesn't really matter. We'll have to figure that out later. It's hat time. Oh, it's banana hat time. Why can't you have me wear a normal hat? Like the original straw hat. Or you could also do the leprechaun hat because it's March. So the leprechaun hat is back on the menu. Even though I didn't put it in there yet. Oops. It's only the 5th. What are you gonna do? Commands. Hats. You do that hat later? Okay. Leprechaun. Alrighty. So that's those two builds. And then I started looking at, well, how would I build this if I did this as 3x, 0x? So I did that here. And I reprocessed the core fuel because you always want to reprocess the core fuel. You don't think the tentacles will help with this? Since I'm being ridiculous with math, the banana seems fitting. Why is the banana fitting for the math? And then we can make more core fuel here from the blanket fuel, which will still give us a fair amount of blanket fuel left. But then we need to also make a bunch of new blanket fuel. So I'm making that from enriched blanket fuel and depleted uranium. And that balances with also another surplus of 4 here. Kind of similar to this one, but it gets us to the 300 rather than the 111 build. And it switches to no longer needing enriched uranium to make core fuel, which I thought was kind of useful because we're not going to have that stuff forever. Regards to this being confusing and not me, porque no los dos, exactly. That's a good point. Sharks are smart, right? Sure. And then this idea here would be the final state, where we have a 300 configuration. We have core fuel reprocessing. We have core fuel from blanket fuel. And then we have the rest of the blanket fuel coming from yellow cake. And then that ends up being a 00016. So a lot of surplus enriched blanket fuel here. But again, that can go into one of these two. I may switch to the more comfortable hat. I didn't know you were actually serious, because you're not usually serious. So that's the sort of plan that I have. But if you're serious, then I will switch. I will not complain about switching. I just have to dig that hat out. Ow. All right, so all of those plans, all of those designs have several things in common. One of those things is 3 of these, which is expected because they're the core part of this reaction, of this process. I'm going to scooch them all together just so that we have them all together. I think that'll be the way that I want this, but I'm not positive on it. Actually, I'm not real positive at all on it. I'm not sure exactly how I want to handle ins and outs for the water and the steam here. One thing in common? They have many things in common. The primary being nobody understands them properly, including me. Yes, but I'm getting closer. And that's the most important part. So then we need to do core fuel reprocessing, which is this one. I already had one of them here. We need to have 3 of them in total. I'm just going to put 3 of them down because I think we'll just reprocess it all together and then get rid of that one. So we need 3 of those for sure. Always. For this. No, actually, that would be a lie. We only need 2 of them once we switch to a 300 config. You make good points every now and then. Since when? So we'll have to be ready to take one of these out. Well, we don't need to take one out, but we don't need all 3 of them anymore. So we could pause one or something. Wouldn't hurt to keep all 3 of them there, though, just in case. Core fuel from blanket fuel. Already confused by my own numbers. No. Just misspoke. That's this one here. For this, we need to have 6 and then 4 later. I'm going to put 6 of them down. And then we'll, just like we get rid of one of these, 1/3 of these. We can get rid of 1/3 of these. And that was these ones, so we can take those out. Nutmeg, welcome in. And then, what else do we have that's permanent? The only other thing that's permanent is blanket fuel from Yellow Cake. And I think I have a problem with that. Because I think I was only thinking I needed 2 of these. But it looks like I'm actually going to need 4 of these, which I don't know if I've goofed the numbers up somewhere along the way. I did show my t-shirt. Oh, and then Nutmeg redeemed the Nerd Shirt Alert. That would be what you're talking about. Yes, well, I haven't redeemed it yet either, have I? Today's shirt is Caledorn. So I'm a little bit uncertain about this particular process because this is going to produce 12 times 4, which is 48 enriched blanket fuel, which means it's going to need to have that much blanket fuel. And if I understand it all correctly, then we need to make that much blanket fuel one way or the other. We can only run... this might be it. No, this isn't it either. Let me see if I have some of the numbers wrong here. This is going to use 16 at 4x. This is going to use 8, and there's 2 of them. That makes a total of 32 used. Which means that's how many I can reprocess here. And I'll get 24 back. Means I need to make up for 8 more, which is 4 of these. Which is only going to consume 32 of these. And therefore only produce 24 of these. So if we're using 4 times 12, we need to make 48, which means I need to make 24 more blanket fuel. So once we've run out of depleted uranium, and we have to start making blanket fuel from Yellow Cake, we're going to need to have... This is what I was afraid of. We're going to need to have 6 of these. Which means I'm going to need to have 6 dozen Yellow Cake. Which means that I'm going to need a lot more uranium. Eventually, a lot more uranium. I'm not super happy about this, because I was thinking that it would be a wash with what we're currently using. But the reason it's not is because we're not using as much core fuel running these at 0x. But if I ran 3 of them at 1x, would that be better? He knows how to do laundry. You'll get the popcorn ready. Nice. If I ran 3 of them at 1x, then I would still be producing 48 of these from 48 of these. I would still be producing 48 of these from 48 of these. Then when I reprocess the core fuel here, I would have 3 of these, giving me 36 out. And then I would need to make up 12 blanket fuel, which would be 2 of these. No, sorry, 12 core fuel, which would be 6 of these still. That's good. Excellent. And that's going to use 6 times 8, which is 48, which is how much we're producing of the enriched, and give us back 6 times 6, which is 36 of these, which means that we have a deficit of 12, and 12 from this is 3 of these. So I'm missing something. Unless there's another thing I can do to make blanket fuel out of enhanced blanket fuel that I haven't thought of yet. Which I think the only other thing I can do... Oh, this might be what I can do. Maybe I just need to make sure that I run these processes. Whatever I do with them. Maybe I need to make sure that these get run. Because that returns back 12 of what I need out of that 24. Uses the 16 that I already have in surplus. And then that 12 becomes... and then I only need 12 of these, which is only 3 of these still. Why did I think I could get away with only 2 of these? Because I thought that I would be running 3 of these? I bet you I thought that I'd be running 3 of these. But I'm not. No. Missing something to check under the bed? If you look carefully, you might a dusty preserving jar that contains my brain. Sounds like you need to find your brain. A little shriveled. Might be a little shriveled from being stored. That could be. What are you whining about over here? You're fine. You'll be fine. Probably. So, yeah, I think I thought I was going to be running more of these then. Like all 6 of them, but it's still 12. Why did I think I was only going to be short by... $8 blanket fuel? I don't know. Obviously, I missed something when I was doing the math in my head last time. So, we're going to have to be prepared for this. Your brain is completely unhappy because of lack of caffeine in the caffeine circulatory system. Well, I mean, you could rectify that. Everyone was surprised Wally missed something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure that we don't F this up, because if I F this up, it's going to be... It takes you 20 to 30 minutes to make coffee. It's a long coffee process. Wait, breakfast before coffee? What's this heresy? And Gizmo needs his attention. Well, that's, yeah. That's a given. IBS is heresy. Vicky70, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I just want to make sure that these numbers are right before we do anything too severe, because if we do something too severe here and it's not right, then it's going to be a problem. When I mess things up, you're going to have to rebuild it all later? Yes, but this is power, so this is going to be a big problem if I mess this up too much. Because nuclear power is not exactly something you can jumpstart. But I think this is the only decision. I think I have to do what I'm thinking that I have to do. So 16, 8 and 8. That makes 32. 32 here is 2 of these. That gives me 24. That means because we have 32 going in, we only need to have 8 coming out of here, which is 4 of these. And then we need to make up for 12 more, or 24 more blanket fuels somehow. And we're going to do that by doing either this recipe or this recipe to consume the rest of the enhanced blanket fuel. Enriched blanket fuel. New here, welcome in. Appreciate the view and the follow. Either one of these, whichever one we can use, we can find a use for. Means we'll get 12 back, and then we have to make up 12 by turning yellow cake into blanket fuel. So I think that's what we'll have to do. I don't like it, but I think that's what we'll have to do anyway. I'm going to need a few more of these, 6 of them in total to get us started. Unless I want to make blanket fuel from something else. We need to figure out, to start with, how to arrange this monstrosity. I'm tempted a few different ways. I think maybe they should go like this. Nuclear power is something you jumpstart by using a steady stream of neutrons. Initially, it's uranium. It starts the splitting process, releasing more neutrons, and voila, reactor running. Learn my nuclear reactor theory. Well, I thank you, Caledon, for the education in nuclear reactor theory. Now go start up your own nuclear reactor. If we do something like this, we can have power coming out here. We'll need to be able to process 384 steam in total. That's 96 times 4. Wish you had the money, you'd be rich within a year. Maybe. Processing 386 water means 4 towers each, but the 0 tower isn't going to be as much. No, I'm sorry, the 3x one isn't going to be nearly as much, but it's going to be a while before we have that. So we'll need to be able to turn part of this on and off whenever we have a 3x enrichment running, because it's going to consume some of our steam. So we need 4 cooling towers for these things. With all these data centers requiring so much power, you could say having a power plant that could generate 1 terawatt hour would be a darn good investment. Yeah. We're not going to get quite that much out of this. We're going to get whatever it was that I said last time. 240. We're going to get either 240 times 3 if we do a 111, so 720 megawatts, or we'll get 240 times 2 plus 60 if we need to run 300, and that'll give us 540. Although, if you're doing terawatt hours, then a 540 megawatt power plant is almost 2 terawatts, so we're good. 2 terawatt hours, so we're good. Thank you, Calendar. I think I need 4 of these anyways, but I think this needs to be down at the end instead of at the beginning. How many did I have here? I did have 4 each here. Okay. Might need a little more space to design here. So your plan of confusing my brain with conflicting math worked. Mark, welcome in. How's the nuclear design going? It's going. So we need 4 of these per reactor. We also need to have a couple of different things consuming the steam. The first one, or the second one rather, is the same thing as we have here. I think I should bring all the pipes along with too. Let's see, low pressure. Let's do it like this then. How's the nuclear power going? Calendar just laughs. And then we need to have another copy of this component, these components, over here. And we need to have some of the new thingies, the super pressure turbines, somehow. Somehow like that. We need 4 of those. They will create. We have. A minute. 4 of those. We need 2 columns of each of these per reactor. Just like we have 2 columns of the one here per reactor, we need to have 2 columns of each of these per reactor, and they have to be separate because these produce 18 megawatts. And the maximum throughput on a shaft is 72 megawatts, which means that these have to be on their own shaft. But these can share a shaft. Let's see. Super pressure turbine sounds like something for Bolt's current Factorio factory. Pressure spelled correctly too. Yep. So this pipe then can probably go away. Because it's going to connect to the input or the output of these into here. A bit of said in the morning never hurts anyone. I'll take your word for it. I personally never use it. Go there. And then I think what I'll do is back in 20 minutes. It better be done by then. Well, it's not going to be done by then. Not even close. Why did I have these one each? I don't know. They don't need to be like that. Let's do this and this and this. And this. And that'll get us all the high pressure steam into the high pressure reactor, high pressure turbines. Always complain unless I teach you useless Norwegian words. No, I complain then too. You just don't pay attention when I complain then. Oh dear. Train complaining
Word
about
request
no
incoming.
fuel.
Now brace yourselves. This might not sound good at all. Wall is not very good at Norwegian.
You probably can't either, Mark. Incompetent. Incompetent. Trains. Well, that's the problem with Norwegian. It's got weird emphasis on weird syllables. Incompetent. Incompetent. Competent. I don't know. I don't know where the emphasis is supposed to go. That's impossible to determine in Norwegian. Similar to English in that way. Move all this stuff out of the way for right now. Over there. Because I'm going to need a little bit more room here. What I think I should do... Put these... Alright, we got a message from Calidron about this now. Put these in here someplace. Let me adjust my sound, which is almost certainly not correct for this. Yeah, it reset itself again because Discord, I think. It's weird.
You have some very interesting ideas about emphasis, though. It's not Chinese, it's Norwegian.
It's close enough.
Incompetent. Which,
Incompetent.
I must say, is a fairly good description of you.
Yeah, it applies to both of us. Alright, and then I'm getting random friend requests from random people. Apparently you share one in random misspellings that aren't so random. And then we need to copy this here. Flip it. Put it like this. We'll need at least 2 passages for pipes here. And then I think this is 384. I know it's 384, but I think I should go with... I think I'm fine going with Mark III pipes, right? Because we had 384 coming out of this beast and Mark III pipes. Yeah. Food and coffee. And get rid of the quad bug? Yeah. Sounds like a good plan. So then these will come out here. And they'll run down along this way. And into these. Should I do any kind of balancing here? What did I do on this one? I did balance them. That's what I had the balancers for. Then maybe I should balance them. Oh, good. They're on the ground. You'll go there then. This can come all the way down here and into there then. And these can go into there. Just like we have on the high pressure side. I don't have that on the low pressure side, which is interesting. What are you going to do? Alright, so that didn't have any prioritization. It doesn't need any. Should almost be output evenly, but I don't think I'm going to do that. This goes in here, like this. Alright, that'll do. Then they pass the high pressure steam that comes out of them over to the high pressure turbines. The high pressure turbines pass to the low pressure steam to the low pressure turbines, and then the low pressure turbines output the depleted steam. We also have the potential for depleted steam coming out of here, so I want to run a pipe of that down to the cooling towers as well. For that, we had just a small pipe. Yeah, just a small pipe for that. That's fine. With 4 of these, I think I had 2 of them going to each... Where am I at? 2 of them going to each tower, yes. We could do the same again. We will need to turn some of that steam in here into make water, just like we did here, but then the rest of it can go into cooling towers. And so I think what I should do here, I could do a couple things here. I could stick them up in here into this open space. If I did that, I'd want to flip some of them. Then I'd have uneven pipes, but I guess that's better, more preferable than alternatives. But actually, maybe these should be something like this. Because we do need to get the aforementioned water out of there, or steam out of there to turn into water. So we need to be able to split and prioritize output to making water. So maybe we do that. We put some sort of prioritization in here. For now, I'm just going to trim these off. Put some sort of prioritization in here to output to wherever we go to making more water from seawater. It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So that's one reactor. This pipe also comes down here to these guys somewhere. So that's one reactor. We need to be able to build 3 of these. And then when the time comes, and we decide to toggle one of these to 3x, if the time comes to toggle one of these to 3x, then we're going to be using them, producing less water and steam. So we'll need to turn off the entirety of one of each of these columns plus half of the other one. And then your water would come out of here, mix with the water being desalinated, and run back up into here. Which I think maybe that means the desalination needs to happen on the end. Means the steam would have to come out and go around to go into the desalination. Sand mine needs work. Let's see here. Two, 3. Let's start here. Go down by 1, 2, 3. And see what that looks like. So then you don't have to go all the way up to where I just sent you. You can just go over here. How's this doing as far as maintaining? Oh, good. It's full. Oh, good. We hit quartz down here, too. Extra good. This filled up. Which means I need to start allowing them to dump their dirt again in the appropriate spaces. Which is here. Oh, this is full too. Uncheck this though. And upgrade this to another level. Let's see, you go there, you go here. That. And then you can level off like this. I think some of them are going to end up getting stuck. Oh, well, do our little grid first. Doing the edges first here. So we'll be ready to build the next height of the ziggurat when the time comes. Actually, I want 2 here. And I need more here as well. Go up that far. And I see you're stuck. Recover. That'll do. All right. They're still keeping this clean with the trains coming in all the time. Just to check, there's only one way of making blanket fuel enriched, which is here. And there's only one way of making core fuel spent, which is also there. The rest of those things will need, the inputs will need prioritization and then distribution. but the outputs just need distribution. They might need priority distribution, but they just need distribution. So we need to triplicate this build. I have U configured for 0. Let's go ahead and triplicate it. I'm going to give myself a little bit of room between each build because I'm going to need to pass probably some pipes between them. Just go with 2 spaces. That'll be enough room for 2 pipes. And then we can do that again. Zoom in further here, and then I can do what I'm doing a little bit easier. Something like that. Two spaces there, 2 spaces there. And then I can pass pipes through, but actually I will need to pass more than 2 pipes through between them. Won't I? I'll need to pass a steam pipe out to make more water, and then I'll need to pass water pipes in on the one side to go into feeding in the water. Yeah. So I'll need more space than that. Don't know how much yet, though. Maybe I just go back to having 2 of these put out here. And only design 1 of these, and then when I have it figured out, then put the other 2 in. Alright, so I need more space. And need a pipe balancer here that I can priority output steam. This looks like a good place for this, because I can do... I could actually go even 1 closer. Might not be a bad idea to do that, and then I didn't do it. Take those out. And closer. Closer. This. Same thing over there. Only in reverse. Actually, could have just copied it, flipped it, and plugged it in. So the priority here is going to be this one out, and this one out. And that will need to go into making enough water to make up for the loss here. Oh. No, this is... Okay, whoof. We're only putting in depleted steam here. Let me rectify that slightly. Because these are outputting depleted, and this outputs depleted if it overheats. So we only need to have depleted being handled in those. This can come down however we want it to come down. Not sure I want to handle that yet. And then Class Deviant, welcome in. So then I need to make up for... How much water here again? I need to make up for 24 times 4, so 96 water per reactor. And these ones make up for 33. Why did I have so many of these? And Cal of the Tentacles, he's AFK. Why did I think I needed so many of these? And also I did this... No, I did it right. Oh, because... Why did I think I needed so many of these? Oh, because they require so much steam. Yeah, that's why. Because they require 24 depleted steam to make 33 water. So the real gain here is really only 7. And I need to make up for 96. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's only making up for 56. $48 times 8, which is the same as 96 times 4. What am I missing? What am I forgetting? Eight times 24 is 192. This will use up to 192 of, so half of the steam we're producing here, half of the depleted steam. And that will make 33 times 8, which is 264. The other half of the steam will go into here, which will produce 144, which is 408, which is more than we need. Okay, that's what it is. Calidorn's in rare form tonight? Yeah, he just woke up. That's the problem. That's the problem. But then this balances because I have priority here on the input on the cooling towers. So that the whatever steam coming out of the cooling towers gets priority over whatever's getting made here. Yeah, okay, so this is basically going to be duplicated. In practicality, I don't quite need this many. But I'm not sure how to calculate how many I need. What the actual balance would be here. Because the deficit here is 96, but for every 33 I try to make up, I have to spend 24, which means that the deficit is a little bit less. Like 3 of these. It's 288, making 216 water. 384 minus 288 is 96. That's 4 of these, making 33 times 4, which is 132 water. Plus 216 is 348. So that's not enough. That balance is not there yet. So it's somewhere between. It's less than 3 of these, and it's more than 4 of these. But for safety's sake, I think I'll just keep it as we have it, with 8 of these and 4 of those, and that way it can balance however it needs to balance. Okay, so I think I'd rather do it like this, because the steam would come in on the sides anyway. And then we can output the water into the center. Let's do maybe something like this. the seawater comes in from this way. The brine goes back out that way. We aren't using the brine here at all, I believe. I believe it's all going straight back out to the ocean. Oh no, wait, we are siphoning some of it off for the processing of toxic slurry, which we will still have to do. So we should be prepared for that. And we also need to be then prepared for the fresh water coming out of this process to get fed back in, like we have it here. Okay. These are 15 times 8, which is 120. And the seawater pump is 108. Right, I remember that. So I need a little bit more than one pump for each column of these. Although, again, in practicality, I never should need 8 of these. So I might be alright with having only one seawater pump each. Actually, I might only have one each over here as it is. I do. Okay, so I can practically say that. Good. Limestone is low. That's because we dug to the bottom of this hole. Yep. Alright, you keep digging. I do need to start digging over here eventually to get down to that, but we'll keep digging here for now. Wherever you are at, down here. Dang it. Oh, good. You did it on your own. Because we're low on limestone again. Okay. So we have a Mark II pipe coming in here from wherever the ocean is. This way. Like that. No, Caladar, I'm not done yet. Do that either. How the heck did I do this over here? Oh. Oh. Also, I put the seawater above on this one. I told him on YouTube yesterday or whenever it was. He knows. He knows. Get that back out again. Let's do this one instead first then. 24 times 8. $192. Gonna make that a Mark III. Let's see. You had Heretican breakfast? What did you do that for? Philadelphia cream cheese. Ah, okay. Do this then. We go on past. And then each one of these can have a Mark I pipe input. That's backwards. Already goofed it up. So you had something healthy, something not so healthy. Chocolate hazelnut spread on the second slice. Yeah, Calidorn thinks everything American is heretical. You didn't know that? Like that better. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Maybe not. Does high fat have more THC than low fat? There's THC in fat? Well, okay. The point was for it to be visible. Oh, it's high fat. I get it, yes. So, yes, today's nerd shirt is Calidorn. And then over here, we need to take water and... Well, I'm only half paying attention because Calidorn's talking too much and I'm on the verge of not feeling well, so I'm only half paying attention. Mm-hmm. Sore throat. You're giving me a headache. Better than the average day. Why did I bother combining those like that? At 91, yes. Alright, so I need to have a pipe balancer here. Takes the steam, takes the water out of these guys at priority. I think I can put it there. 72 each. They could be marked 2 pipes. And these are up to 33 times 8, which was what again? $264. 92 seems to be a mix-up. This is the first from the Necronomicon. What's this doing in here? Reads carefully. Yes, uh-huh. Mm-hmm, sure. I think I'm just going to run these out through a bus pipe. Got to be a faster pipe, though. Something like this. And into there. The priority here will be on these two. Priority here is on that output. And then the saline out is 6 times 8, which is 48. I think I'll put that in a... Well... Mark 1 pipe should be fine, actually. And these can just go straight up. I don't want you to go there. I want you to go there. There you go. They are far enough apart that we don't need to worry about them. All right. That tail goes away. This tail goes away. That goes in there. What the hell is that? One times game. You did it over there, too. Oh, I gotta hit F, that's why. Alright, there we go. Alright. I don't like having this big gaping open space here, but also, what are you gonna do? Okay, so that's got to connect to the C. This connects to the C. These will need to be split later to feed out to whoever we process and make the yellow cake. Like this is doing. And then the water from the yellow cake comes back in and needs to get mixed in somewhere important. Should I have put these tanks in here? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. At 9-2 is signed to give me permission to resurrect you in the case I should die before you? Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good plan to me. These come out here, and they go into there. In which case, I actually think I want to change where these pipes run. Must have been a rogue tentacle. It could have been. One never knows. I want these to run in there, then. Water from yellow cake doesn't sound like anything you'd want to drink? No, that's true. Probably not. Tentacles under the leprechaun. It would look silly on top of it. Yeah, I agree. You don't have to tell me that part. Although, to be fair, it'll probably look silly either way. They're going to put the headphones in between them, though, because the tentacles don't go over the headphones very well. And the headphones don't go over the leprechaun hat very well. So we're going to go with that option. All right. Uh-huh. So what you're saying is you just prefer to mansplain everything. Yes. All I think what I want to do here is bring both of those pipes around and deposit them here separately. Like this. And oh, that's totally what I wanted you to do. Thank you, game. Here. And there. Change that one. Like that. And then you're now eligible to receive 3x L2 Revive S4 for Marvel Contest. I don't even know what the hell all that is. And then these will come all the way up here. Like this. And another pipe balancer here. Like so. A disturbance in the force. As if millions of voices cried out in unison, and then were suddenly silenced. Alright, so that should work. Wait a minute. That ain't right. That ain't right. Oh, yes, it is. That is right. Never mind. Shut up, Wally. And then this one here needs to go out somehow. I think I'm just going to interject it into here. This. That. And then like this. Priority on that. Priority on this. I think that'll work okay. That's one reactor. Now we just need to build the input parts of it. So, oh, sand mine needs more work again? Okay. I think you're basically done because I don't want to dig any more of that out. Basically done over here, that is. So what I want to have happen is I want you to come over here this time. Giggity. And how you doing, Batman? I mean, saw you someplace earlier. Yesterday. Oh, Aussie stream yesterday. That's where I saw you. How you doing? And Jeff streamed yesterday, too. You're breathing. Well, that's better than some. Push our way into here. Something like that, maybe. And we'll end up having to take a bunch of this out. I also need to dig down into here, though. Take this part out here. And part out here. I want you good. Let's come back this way. Dig down like this. And I need to go down to probably minus 22 or so. Do like that. See where that takes us here. Where's the spot? I mean, I know. I'm not sure why you're interested. I was under the impression you weren't interested in those things. Why don't you go ask Jeff? How does this look, by the way? Ooh, you might be getting finally to the friggin' edge of where the quartz is, if I end up digging that far down. I don't know if I will or not, but... Join on in, Batman. Join on in. We're not quite hitting the copper yet, which is what I was hoping to not accomplish yet, because I do need to put that copper handling in there. Okay, so let's see. All these damn things are all fluids, which is weird. To me. All four of these items are fluids. There's a mildly internal one. I don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what that means, but... Okay. These guys, get out of the way. Over there someplace. We need to have 6 of these. Yeah, 6 of these. Alright, so the first... No, wait, that's... No, not the 6 of those. Just 3 of those. It's 6 of these that we need to have. These are the ones processing the spent. Internal is good, if you like that sort of thing. Alright, so we need to be able to pipe all of the spent fuel to these 3, and I think I'm going to keep them all together just because distributing the materials around doesn't sound like fun to me. Who else needs these same materials, though? Because you need molten friggin' glass, and so do you. So maybe putting these where these are, although they're not making the same things. Well, they're making some of the same things, because they are making the blues. And they're consuming acid, glass, and steel, and these are consuming acid, glass, and salt. So maybe putting them together would make some sense. For the alternate products, the others I'm not that worried about, but also I'm not that worried about it. So if we do something like this for those, and these can go with them, because these are the ones getting deleted after a short amount of time. They can go nearby, but maybe not directly adjacent. And then we'll have to bring in trains carrying whatever we need for molten glass. Acid and steel, as well as salt. Salt's going to be used quite a bit here, though. I think. Maybe. What am I missing for recipes here? This one? I think I'm missing this one. I think it should go in the place of those. Yeah, we need more salt there. We need more salt here. Don't need glass, though. Glass is only used in one place. But we need salt to make glass, too, so there is that. I'm ignoring Calendar. I think... Not sure I need more salt. I think you're the one good on salt, if anybody's good on salt here. Not sure it's preservation. You said molten glass. You're right. I did say molten glass. So these here can probably be buddied up with these because both are outputting the core fuel. They need to be output in separate pipes though, so that I can prioritize them accordingly. Or rarely molten. That's good. That's good. And 6 is all we'll ever need of those. Fuel from blanket. 6. It's 4, 4, and 4. Yeah. Okay, good. He was trying to get you to watch a video about molten salt the past few days. You ignored it? I don't think I'll need this recipe or this one. Molten salt is good, but hard on the tongue. Got that one already. Got that one already. Oh, we need molten glass for these. Oh, yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Wouldn't it, like, melt your tongue? Depends on what your tongue's made out of. It's made out of tungsten? Maybe not. Just not an ad for Morton salt. When it rains, it pours. Okay. Come on, OBS. Let me have control of the freaking scroll bar here. Well, I said tungsten, not titanium. Let's see. Blanket fuel from spent fuel mocks, that's these. Core fuel reprocessing, that's those. Blanket fuel from rich blanket and depleted uranium, that's these. We need 6 of those. 6 of those total. These are also temporary. Oops. Dig. Tungsten, that's what I said. Dig, enjoy that, and yes. I don't know. Let's find out, Calidar. We already looked up the melting temperatures of different kinds of metals the other time. Last night? Was that last night? $1,000 to 1,600 C for molten glass. Melting temperature of tungsten is 3,400 C. Nope. Tungsten could withstand molten glass. No problem. It's scientific, so we can use metric in that respect. Thorium salt melts at about 1,000 degrees, tungsten at 6,000. Tungsten is the highest melting point of any metal, yeah. You're welcome, Calidor, for your science lesson today. No, you didn't. What do you need translated? You only speak freedom units? Oh. Batman's gonna make a tit joke. Let's see. It may have been the point. Oh. So I think what I'm going to do with these is use different heights. Or will that work? Mark took responsibility. How many people have to jump to start a nuclear reactor? All of them. All of them. Since the two output products are... No. The enhanced uranium, I think I want to... Or the enhanced enriched blanket fuel, I think I want to prioritize that output as well. Well, Calidorn, I think you just volunteered. You're a person. You may not be a human person. That doesn't make you not a person. Discord? Oh dear. Oh, I was doing that on purpose. Yes, Calendar. So salt is a rock or mineral. Does that mean that molten salt is lava? I don't know. I don't know what the definition of lava is. All right. I'm still trying to puzzle through how I want to handle all of this. So the issue is I need to be able to handle all 4 of the piped states of the fuel here. These ones are fairly easy because they're all going to come down this line here at however it works. But they got to come out of all 3 reactors, come together, and then go down that line. The more complicated part is for the input of the core fuel. We're going to have core fuel getting made from up to 3 different processes. And we need to make sure that we don't produce more than we need of them, and so we want to make sure they're in the right priority. And will the priority change over time? You depend on YouTube thumbnails for all your most important information. Me too, Mark. Me too. This one is always highest priority because we need to make sure that we reprocess the spent core fuel back into good core fuel. And then we're going to supplement that with these the core fuel from blanket fuel production, or from cycling blanket fuel. And then we're also going to make it from enriched uranium, which, do I have that around here somewhere? I apparently did not put that one down. Yes, I did. Did I? That one. I guess I didn't put this one down. We're going to make it from enriched uranium whenever we need more of it. So I guess this would be the lower of the priorities. And then when we do more core fuel making, it'll be... Let's see, there's 2 there, there's 2 there. 2 there. So this is the only other one we have. So this one's always the lowest priority. So that's fine. Core fuel's simple, relatively speaking. We'll have to have a pipe balancer somewhere in here that takes it in from here and from here. And then the output of this goes into another pipe balancer where we bring in the output from this. We prioritize this one over this one. And then we prioritize this over whatever comes into here. And then this goes out to go into to be split between the 3 reactors. Does enriched uranium have a fat bank balance? I think it's high. Let's see, Calais, I know you don't. Lava is named for magma that comes into contact with air. However, for your small brain on the asteroid 16 Psyche, scientists with more brains than you believe there may have been ferrovolcanism in the past, which would be actual metallic lava. On Earth, however, scientists would just call molten metal on the ground a very expensive mess. Okay. Okay. So those will come out in that respect. Oh, you're triggered by Mark this time. Okay. Blanket fuel. 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. Looks like there's only 2 things making blanket fuel. It's always going to be made by this. And I think this would need to get consumed as much as possible because of the core fuel. And then it needs to get made by this next. And then it gets made by... this one. And then it goes to this one after this is all depleted. Enriched uranium isn't just rich, it's the definition of old money energy. Talking about a bank balance so heavy it's literally unstable. If uranium were a person, we'd be walking into the club with a custom lead-lined Birkin, demanding the VIP section because it's too radiant for the general public. Doggone it. figure out how to stop this auto trigger for the Cal AI routine. I think I just need to mute my microphone when you're doing the Cal AI stuff. At least that works for Megatron. Molten metal in the sky would be a health risk? Yeah, probably. 1 gram of enriched uranium has enough calories to sustain you for the rest of your life? Yeah, but so does 0.1 grams. Also, don't take health or science advice from YouTube, from streamers on Twitch. That's not too bad then. I need to decide though. I think then the enhanced or enriched rather would follow where we're making. Think you'll have to go reboot yourself. Sounds like a good plan. Well, sort of. This will be the priority output for the enriched blanket fuel. And then it goes into this. And then it goes into these. Whichever one of these we actually have enabled. Which I haven't decided how I want to handle that part yet either. But yeah, go boot yourself, Calidar. Sounds like a good plan. I don't even think the main kernel's Windows. At least not a modern version of Windows. I think your main kernel's like DOS 3.2. You decided to take a break before going after the Queen in Valheim and work on the base building that was 4 IRL days ago? Oof. DOS 3.22 was one of the most stable OSs MS ever made. You know, you ran it. Oh, it could be Amiga OS, yeah. Yeah. That could be. I'm sure it's something that was programmed in BASIC. That would be actually the probably most likely thing. You still have your original MS-DOS 3.22 disk in your father's office shelf? Well, then you don't have it, then, do you? He does. We have a problem here. Yes, we do. Or don't we? No, it's still moving. Okay, it was just... No, maybe it is gummed up. Are you gummed up? Waiting for a free try. Oh, you're going in here. That's why. Okay, it's fine. You better... yeah. It's probably been demagnetized. Oh, you keep all your antiquities together. That's smart, Calidar. That's real smart. A long time ago, I took my...
SMRT. That spells smart.
I took my DOS, like, 6.2 or something disks, and my Windows 3.1 disks, floppy disks, and converted them to floppy disk images, just so that I would never lose the code. Bits. Thought that was clever of me. What if I still have them or if I lost them? I still have them. Haha, it didn't take me long to find them either. Yeah, DOS 6.2 and Windows 3.11. I converted them all to VFDs. so that I would not lose the bits in case I wanted to be a nerd one day and boot them up. Exactly that, too. I actually do have a floppy disk drive around somewhere, I think. I think it's upstairs. Storage. Pretty sure I have one still around someplace. I don't know if I could plug it into any modern computer, but... it's fine. Do you have any optical drives? Except in the PS5. Yeah, I don't have any optical drives connected to my current computer, but I do have optical drives around. I have a USB attachable optical drive too. There's a CD ISO you can download that has all the old DOS and very early Windows images, so you can make bootable disks from them. Nice. Nice. You haven't used the CD, DVD, any of that, except for the PS5? In a decade? I don't think I could say a decade. I don't think I could quite say a decade. Now, are we counting music CDs and movie DVDs and Blu-rays? Or are we only counting them for computer data of some kind? Well, but I'm talking like a decade ago. But that was only half the question. Two of those. So 6 of them every minute. Is that a 100-year lifespan on those? Say that over here someplace, or does that say it on... years, okay. So that's 1,200 cycles. So 1,200 times... 1,200 means that I'm going to need to have one of these storages for each one of these. Why would you not want the Apolyton patch can also fix a lot of annoying bugs? Spotify released in 2008. You're a very early adapter, so no heretical music CDs since then. Okay. You have a second PC to one side. It has Windows 98 SE installed on it and bootable. To make Call to Power 2 player without using the Apolyton patch? I don't know what that even is. He likes the cheese available in the original game that the patch fixes. So yeah, each one of these is going to need its own... That sucks. It's going to need its own waste storage. So maybe these should be more separated, and I should have one of those for each. It might not be a bad idea. Which means these would need to be more separated then, so I can store... Here, yeah. So I can store the radioactive waste directly. I think would be the most ideal situation, but that means a lot more space. But we're going to have plenty of things to do here, so I think we'll just do that. We'll need to have the pipe output there. And you'll have to go like this. Go 2 spaces there. Means that these would need to be shifted down quite radically. Everything else in this is a product of an egomaniacal armchair general amateur programmer. Huh. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about, so there's that. I have to do that, and then these 6 will also have to output into that. I may not make 6 of these then, given the space requirements now. We don't need that many. I just need to, instead of making these from this, we just need to make the blanket fuel from... Wait a minute. I should really try to make 6 of those. Maybe those just go in a completely different area then. Instead of trying to feed them with the same feed as this. It might be the wiser choice. Like a separate column of these. And then we go like here. I'm off by 1. Yeah, I think that'll be better in the end. Because then I can just feed the items that I need into each of these columns and then delete what I don't need later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's better, at least. Because I can make... How much molten glass do I need here? 6. Well, maybe we can make that still be a shared thing, because I'm gonna need... Probably do the cheaper method here. I should do the graphite method, but we could do the slower one. If we only need 2 per, then that's 6, 12, 18. So yeah, the slower, easier, cheaper one here is fine. So we need 30 glass mix, which is salt, limestone, sand, and acid. But we don't even need that much of that either. And this can actually be turned down to the slower one. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we'll bring the, we'll do the molten glass here still, but figure that part out later. Right, so these will output directly into those. And then these will come up and be carried up to there. That means these can come in now next. We have 2 piped outputs, but we only really need 2 spaces for that, because they can go at whatever height. I think these will be up 1 for sense reasons. And means these will be up even higher. That's fine. These, I think all these, since they're on pipes, should be up higher. These will be up the highest, I think, because we're going to have to avoid multiple items here. 3 items. So they might be at the highest level. You know, I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to wrap up early tonight. My My throat is starting to bother me a little bit more. And the headache is not helping the puzzling of this. I think the solution is within our grasp. I think it's just going to take a little bit more time and effort to get it all the way there. My brain ain't braining. Well, that would be the headache. Yeah. Yeah, I hope this, whatever this is with my throat, is just a transitory thing and not an actual, like, sinus infection or throat infection or any of that kind of thing. It could just be the weather. It was cold again, and then it was warm again, and then it was cold again. I mean, you know, Glass, you live at the other side of the lake. I doubt it's COVID. So your weather is effectively the same as mine. So, you know all about it. I don't always have a headache. No, I don't. I mean, yes, I do. His name is Calidorn. But, no, I don't actually have a physical headache. You've had chronic sinus infections all your life? Yeah. So I think it will serve me best to attack this, continue attacking this in another stream rather than trying to push my way through it right now and trying to figure this all out. So let's find ourselves a raid target and get out of here. I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with me and tolerating my stumbling through this this puzzle. This is most definitely the most difficult puzzle of the game. The titanium was tough, but this is tougher. Between now and Saturday, which will be the next Captain of Industry stream, make sure you check out my YouTube channel. We are starting Ethos tomorrow. It is the 1.0 release. We checked that game out. Checked the demo of that game out in Next Fest last week. And so we're going to start that on YouTube. There'll be a few days of Ethos, and then it'll be alternated with Alchemy Factory. And yeah, we're only ending about 10 or 15 minutes early, so it's not that big of a deal. So come and join me for that in the chat tomorrow, and then through the weekend until, and then, of course, hang out for Alchemy Factory when that returns to the schedule as well. And then come and join us in Discord tomorrow night. We'll be doing community game night. We'll play a game that everybody votes on, and it'll be a game that you can just jump into if you want. You won't have to have been there before or have to be there every week or any of that kind of thing. So whether you will be doing anything depends. What about depends? And then Sunday we'll have shenanigans. Whether I get sick or not, I'll probably still do something. You know me. I'll still push through. Sunday shenanigans. We're playing Alchemy Factory there as well, so you'll want to come and join us for that and see what kind of shenanigans we get up to. But for now, let's see. Who do we want to raid tonight? Let us raid... Click thing. Click. Let us raid... Let's raid Taco again. He's playing Rune Dice again, which is a... from what we learned last time, is a... like a dice combat game. At least it seems to be. Depends for the ultimate long gaming session. Thank you, Glass Deviant, for getting the reference. But for now, we're going to leave this here. So, let's see. Vicky, thank you again for the resub. And everybody else, thank you for the chats and the redeems. And we will see you all again, hopefully, on Saturday. Or sooner if you come to game night tomorrow night. Thanks for coming and have a good one. Bye for now.